Okay, so I wanted to thank you all for coming. My name is Trooper DR716, but you can call me Alpha. Today I'm going to give you a little history lesson.
Yeah, history!
Blaster's overheated!
Note to self, no blasters in class. Anyway, today I'm going to teach you about the French Revolution superstar, Maximilien Robespierre. Excuse me, Mr. Teacher Man? Yes, what is it? What's a Robespierre? Okay, first off, it's pronounced Robespierre. Second, please contain your excitement and save all questions till the end. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. Because a stormtrooper talking about the French Revolution makes about as much sense as it sounds. Who are you talking to? Maximilien Robespierre was born in Arras in May of 1758. He grew up with a rather poor family. His mother died when he was only 6 years old, and his father randomly wandered off and never came back. But things changed for the better, as at around 11 years old, Robespierre was invited to a very well-known college in Paris as he studied Roman Republic figures. Robespierre was academically brilliant, so much so in fact that he delivered a Latin address in 1775 to King Louis XVI himself. In 1781, Robespierre went back to his home in Arras to become a lawyer. He was well respected among the people as he proudly defended the weak and poor, receiving his nickname the Incorruptible. On January 1st, 1788, Robespierre was elected as a delegate to represent the Third Estate in Paris. However, in 1789, things began to heat up as the French Revolution was about to begin. Starving townsfolk began to revolt against the fat and happy monarchy, which all leads back to good old Robespierre, as he was the one that began to create revolutionary writings that opposed King Louis XVI and the monarchy. Is it break time now? What? No! There's still so much more to talk about. We aren't even halfway yet. Just hang tight, okay? The year is 1792. King Louis XVI is put on trial after an act of treason. He was one vote away from being executed. The final vote for his execution was at the hands of none other than Maximilien Robespierre. A year later, in 1793, the former King Louis XVI was executed via the guillotine. It was at that point that everything began to change. On July 27th of the same year, Robespierre was elected the head of the Committee of Public Safety. Ooh. Yeah, ooh, whatever. Robespierre had then set out to enforce his ideas of the revolution to the rest of France. The catch to this, however, was that any who opposed to Robespierre's ideas was to suffer the same fate as King Louis XVI. Why? Why what? Why would the head of the Committee of Public Safety threaten to guillotine people who went against him? Because they suck at keeping people safe? I don't know. And what did I say about saving your questions until the end? Well, I was just wondering why. Anyway, this time period was known as the Reign of Terror, where over the course of around less than 2 years, 40,000 people died via the guillotine. Yet in 1794, things began to escalate as Robespierre was being seen as worse and worse, until the National Convention began to see Robespierre as a power-hungry tyrant. He was to be arrested on July 27th. He and his closest allies fled to the Hôtel de Ville, where he attempted to commit suicide by placing a gun to his head. Unfortunately for him, he was still alive and kicking, now with a wounded jaw. The following day, Robespierre and his closest allies were sent to the guillotine with no trial. Heh, rebel scum. Afterwards, the Committee of Public Safety no longer had any authority. The directory stuck with the bourgeoisie values, corruption, and military failure. The directory also was overthrown by a military group that was led by Napoleon Bonaparte. So there you go. I taught you a thing or two on Robespierre. Any questions? Yeah. How is Lord Vader a guillotine? You idiot. Lord Vader was never a guillotine. I just used him as an example. You use Lord Vader as an example? He's not going to be pleased. No, that's not what I meant. You know what? Forget it. I taught you about Robespierre, and hopefully you learned a thing or two. Class dismissed.